Hey guys, I just wanted to reach out to you and let you know that Surewinder is still selling amazing products. Some of you guys have been dragging your feet for whatever reason. If your shoulder hurts, do not waste time. Pull the trigger. I just bought 4 or 5 of them, and we had 2 guys out. You know how much it cost me to pay for 2 guys being out with bad shoulders? We just pulled the trigger and we said, listen, everybody's going to have one on a truck. It's mandatory. You got to use it. Don't hesitate. Don't wait till your guys go down. It's going to cost you more. Buy a Surewinder.
What's up? What's up? I am alive and well. We are breathing. We are alive. There is stress in the air everywhere. I didn't plan that. It sounded like a kid's rap song or something. Listen, I just want to take a second and remind you to breathe, because man, things are going crazy. We're in an area that we've been in before, right? We've all been here before. We know that there is political division. We know that business historically pulls back. I've told you guys this a gazillion times before elections. Business pulls back usually 2 months prior. I went to my eye doctor today. He said August is historically his best month every year, and this year it was flat, no increase. I'm hearing that from a lot of people. Last few months have been really tough. We were off to an amazing start. I mean, like absolutely crushing it this year, and we're still doing well, but sales are down dramatically. And we our sales were up dramatically, right? So maybe it's a net zero at the end of the day, but I think what we're looking at right now is who's going to come out resilient, right? I think there's going to be a little bit of pain over the next few months. I think people are unsure of the future. Consumer confidence is not great. I do think that interest rates are going to be dropping. That should help a little bit. So if we have the interest rates drop, that should spark the real estate market, which historically is slightly delayed, which can take 3 to 6 months, which I think they're a little late on dropping the rates right now. But nonetheless, it's happening. So that's a good sign. That should help stimulate the market a little bit. You probably will have people start selling homes. I know my parents are selling theirs strategically right now, and they're moving into something a little bit smaller because they don't need the house size that they have. It's the house that I kind of lived in high school, so they don't need it anymore. They don't need the extra bedrooms and whatever. So you're going to have a little bit of the real estate market kick in. I had my buddy from the steel industry send me an email, Brian, and I'll try to pull it up while I'm talking here so we can chat about it, because I do think that the information that he put in here is valuable. I tried to get him to jump on real quick, but he had just gotten back from a trip. He said, I was out on vacation the last 10 days and glad to be back. With that being said, I wanted to get some information to help you catch you up on the market. Please see attached core report, majestic market update. Also, here are things I'm looking at with regard to the current steel market. Okay, here we go. CRU from last week. HRC's down 5 cents to $34.35. CRC is down 75 cents kilowatt ton, I think is what that is. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. To $47.30. And then HDG is down 25 cents we're seeing falling pricings on this stuff, but I don't know if that's being passed to us still. Scrap update: after remaining flat the previous 2 months, early expectations are for a slight softening for September scrap pricing. The early estimates are for prime scrap pricing to slip around $10/GT. Would that be like gigaton? To $15 gigaton compared to August. I don't know what these are, so I apologize. But 10-GT to 15-GT, maybe it's gigaton. This decline could potentially push prime scrap pricing to its lowest level since Q4 of 2022. Reason for potential softening in pricing includes softer demand due to upcoming mill outages, continued weaker order books at the mill level, increased import activity for both scrap and scrap alternatives, pig iron, and then weaker export activity. U.S. Steel, Nippon Steel, President Biden is expected to block the U.S. Steel Nippon Steel merger, while U.S. Steel threatens to close facilities if the deal cannot get done. In the meantime, Cleveland Cliffs is preparing financially to make a move if the deal falls apart. So you got quite a bit of activity and also stress in the steel market right now. And man, it's just crazy. It feels like every single, it's not historically, you don't see like a lot of industries all down at one time. I have I keep up, if you guys know, I keep up with a lot of financial stuff, and there's certain signals that you can watch for like a recession or whatever, and like a ton of triggers have fired off that say that you're either about to be in a recession or you're in a recession. So I would say that we are probably in a recession, most likely, which is strange because we've had a really good year. But at the same time, I do think that you got to be smart as a business owner, right? Make good decisions based on the fact that you don't know, and no amount of marketing is going to help you grow significantly faster when the economy is going down. You also can experience in tough times employees chasing greener grass. You'll see that a lot during this stage, kind of where we're at now. Many of you business owners that are listening to this probably can relate of just getting hit up for a lot of raises right now. Historically, not a good time to be giving a bunch of raises just because you got to try to keep your overhead low. But at the same time, it's kind of like, well, you got to ask yourself, like, can I replace this person? And can I replace them with someone better for around the same price? Or do we let them go? Go chase greener grass. So a lot of that's going on, right? We got the election coming up in November. Historically, when I look back on our sales and the things that we've done, the election years have been fairly light 2 months prior and 1 month after. So I do feel like we should be able to, I think it's going to be the same. I think it's going to be the same this time. It's already kind of like feeling very similar. You have some distress in the world. It's a little shaky, and I think it's definitely important to just keep your eye on things, be watching your numbers carefully. And if you're slow and you got downtime, like utilizing that time to get ready for when things pick back up. Josh and I were talking about this the other day. Like, it's really interesting how when we're going really fast, we tend to do really well. When we as a team at Aaron go really slow, we tend to make a ton of mistakes. It's really weird. And I don't know if maybe like maybe we don't see the mistakes till we're slow as much, or if just because we're doing it so fast, we're just going off of what we know we're supposed to be doing. And then when it slows down, maybe we cut corners or we don't pay attention to detail as much. But we have a tendency, us have a tendency to make more mistakes when it's slower. I think my team's built better for acceleration, like going fast. We've always kind of built built our business in a way with the expectation for fast growth. So I do think that the mindset of the team is they want to grow and they like sales and they like growth. Um, it's exciting, right? So talk to a business owner today who's going through a really hard time. Just what my encouragement and my advice to him and my advice to you would be, listen, when things get hard, um, I think you got to go back to the basics. For me, that's going to be faith, my faith. It's going to be my family. It's going to be my core values for my personal life, core values for my business life, and my mission and vision statement. Because when things get rocky or hard, you kind of you miss that a little bit, right? You lose sight of it slightly. And I think it's important that you make a big deal about those things, even when it's slow or you don't feel like it, or even as a business owner, sometimes we got to revisit those things and be like, "Hey, man, am I making decisions based on the best interest of me, my family, and the business? And do they align with my core values, mission, and vision statement?" Because when we get off track a little bit, those things are designed to pull us back in and get us back on the road of healthy. And so if you haven't spent time, quality time on your core values, on your mission and vision, if you're not stressing it to your team right now, I think it's super duper important that you do that.
Hey guys, I found something that changed my business and I want to share it with you. We've created packages that have included some of the best products in our industry to offer our service customers. The heart of that package is Stealth Hardware Kit. Stealth Hardware is the quietest hinges on the market. I challenge you to buy at least one of these, test it for yourself. Put it on your truck and design a quiet performance package for your customers willing to pay for a better, smoother running door. Buy your Stealth Hardware Kit at Service Spring, do a search for Quiet Hinge, and then buy that. You can buy a double or single door, 7 or 8 foot tall, and promise you it'll change your service forever.
Somer USA and Somer Group want to thank you for an incredible year and the trust you put in them and their products. As you know, Somer places high value on relationships, education, customer service, innovation, and professionalism. And they are grateful to you for your part in the fostering and dissemination of these values. If there is any way Somer can support you in your journey, whether through their products, the values they hold to, or the knowledge Somer has gained through interaction with door dealers across the world, please reach out to the team at your convenience. They are here to serve you. Again, thank you from the entire Somer team. Check them out at somerusa.com. Tell them Ryan sent you.
I also, I think I mentioned this a couple months ago, but we have like this is a great time for you to establish a leadership intensive or a leadership program within your organization. We do this thing where we read a book, and every week we come together for an hour and talk about the book and our takeaways and things that we can implement and the changes we want to make in our professional life and how we can be better leaders. And that's a 1 hour call, and we got quite a few people on there from all the different companies that I own. But now is a great time to start that, because if you have someone in your organization that is looking to be developed or looking to get into leadership, if things are rocky or things are slow, they start thinking, "Oh man, are we in a bad spot here? Like, should we be looking?" Then you have a lot of private equity companies coming in, reaching out to staff of yours, offering them money. And, that's probably a very short-term gig, but these private equity firms are probably offering a lot of money. And then they're going to flip the business. And who knows if they keep the people or if they treat them well or whatever, right? So it's all the things that you got to keep in consideration here is, do you want to lose those people to just a money offer? And one way you can be proactive right now is simply pick some leadership books. I recommend some John Maxwell books to you. And Developing the Leader Within You 2.0 is the first book we started with, and probably couldn't have started with a better book. And so if you have that book, get it for your team. Ask for people within your organization if they want to join you in this. And then y'all come together once a week. Do not miss that meeting, right? Unless you absolutely have to. And you make it really important. You schedule jobs around it, like everything. And then that will start getting all of you guys on the same page on how to be a better leader. I mean, I'm in some of these meetings and it's like encouraging to me some days because it's teaching things that I do now. And my staff will even say sometimes like, man, it's really good. Like I see you doing these things already and it's encouraging. And then some weeks we're in there and I'm like, man, I just have to admit to you guys, like, I don't know about y'all, but I feel like I'm getting called out here. And you guys probably are thinking the same thing, right? Like Ryan really sucks at this. And it's okay to talk about it, right? Like it's okay to just admit, hey, this is an area that I struggle in. And if you have that level of transparency, they'll have that with you as well. And then you're developing leaders and you guys are starting to think the same way and view things the same way. This is critical, especially during a downtime like this. So I think training is important right now. Getting people trained, focused on the details, like hammer home attention to detail, accountability, put accountability processes in place, because I think when things slow down, we start getting anxious as business owners. We reflect that. It reflects onto our team. Our team gets anxious. Our team gets frustrated. You got to be the steady hand, right? You gotta give them a reason. Hey, it's a little slow right now. It's slow for everybody. Elections coming up. People are nervous. They're not spending money unnecessarily. Like, let's just stay focused and then book time for these guys to like train or study or whatever. Attention to detail. Clean out the shop. Organize the shop. Now's a perfect time to restructure everything. So, and I know there's places like Phoenix right now. Like, I feel like Phoenix is booming because this is like their busy season. And I don't feel like the election's really hurting them a whole lot. I'm seeing really good numbers out of Phoenix. But you got all the snowbirds moving back to Phoenix in September, October. So it's a good time to be there. So maybe there are some places that are isolated from this. And, so I know we had the home show this past weekend and attendance was probably down 50%, but the people that were there were like really serious. So I also had to take in consideration here locally, we had the school shooting happen 20 minutes from here. So that's really difficult because you got everybody in our area is kind of like stressed out to the max on that. And really hard for teachers and parents and kids right now. Like everyone's a little bit on edge about going to public places and school events and football games and so that's all natural. But all those things affect the market and you got to be aware of that, right? Like when that stuff happens, you got to know there's a ripple effect financially. I'm not trying to turn such a negative thing into a business thing, but as a business owner, when that happens, like obviously have empathy and all that. Like but you got to know that there's going to be an effect of that locally, even globally or nationally, right? So I'll leave you with this because I think this is really important that you guys pay attention to is it's election season. Okay. Q4 historically is a good quarter for commercial. I know in the northern states, it's good for repair. Know your trends, know what to focus on and where to shift money to get clientele. You should be spending some of this downtime planning for 2025. Like as a business owner, we should be looking 1, 3, 5 years out, strategy and planning. And I like to start with my 1 year and then I go to my 5 year and I work my way back and see how far off I am from my 1 year. And I've been very successful with that. I think that you should probably adopt that if you're not doing any type of planning for the year. And the type of planning, like, what does that look like, right? Well, I take where we're at now, what we're projected to do for the year. I evaluate all of my staff, and then I figure out, hey, if I'm looking, I want to increase. Where do I want to increase? Do I want to increase my new door sales? What doors do I want to sell more of next year? Do I want to increase service? Do I want to increase commercial? Do I want to increase screens? What has our clientele shifted a little bit? How's our marketing performing? How is our systems and operations performing? Are SOPs updated? Is our staff fully trained on SOPs? Like we just got you got to go through that system, that process. And I think your team needs to help you for the things that they're involved in. But I do a lot of pre-planning in September, and in October, I get Josh and I historically will get together, but I like to get the team together. I think getting them involved in it as well, and then probably come back together with Josh, or just Josh and I talk and say, hey, let's do this and this, and then focus on it really hard and get after it. So that's our process, how we do our planning. And I think it's very important for business owners to do that, because if you're rolling into a new year without a plan, then I think it's easy to get off focus. And if you know that you want to increase your revenue by X amount, you need to ask yourself, how's that going to affect our net profit? And historically, it doesn't mean that if you're at $1 million and we get $2 million, if you're doing 10% net profit, doesn't mean you're going to continue to do a 10% net profit. You got to evaluate. It should be, hey, I'm at 1 million, 10% profit. How do I get to 1 million at 15% profit or 13% profit? Or how do I get to 1.3 million at, adding 2 or 3%, 5% more profit? How do I get to 1.5? And there's tipping points, right? And you guys know this. If you do X amount more doors per month, you need to hire another person. Okay, well, let's see what it looks like if we wrote it out for a year where we maxed out the team that we've got. If you're not doing that, you're inefficient with your staff. So all of this goes into planning, right? And you may want to ramp up staff in a certain department, and that's fine. But you need to have it calculated and figured out how it's going to affect your net profit. What's the upfront investment? All of that. So I think next year we're going to go heavy on salespeople, and we're going to hire a lot of revenue generators, and I'm pretty excited about that. So. Last thing I want to tell you is like now is a really good time to do a lot of camaraderie with your team. You may feel like sales is down, but man, you could really get together and have some tacos with your team or whatever, once or twice a month, as the owner. Maybe invite families, whatever. You're going to drop $400 or $500, but the return on that, in my opinion, just what we've seen, being able to collaborate and get the team together and have fun and not be about work, I think is really important. and some of the teams really going to love it, and some of the teams not going to want to participate. Like, it doesn't need to be mandatory. I don't think you make a big deal about it for people who don't want to come. Some people just have different, they're socially different. They have different things going on in their life. They're busy. They just may need the downtime. They're going through a hard time, whatever, it's fine. So I know a lot of business owners get frustrated and get worked up about, oh, I do all these things and this one guy never comes, and what should the consequence be? I'm like, bro, you're doing like Taco Tuesday. Why it is after work? Why would there be a consequence if Bobby doesn't want to come eat tacos with you? Like, maybe you're not that likable. I don't know. Maybe. Anyway, listen, guys, I know there's a lot going on, a lot of stress right now. Breathe. Don't forget to breathe. Take care of yourself. Be mentally tough. Find support. And I think that you will make it through this time. I think we just need a couple months. Press through, really push hard, focus on the details, hone in your marketing, start your planning for next year. And before you know it, things will be back in order. I hope you guys are well. Stay safe. Talk to you soon.